Bad Counselors is the new Christian young adult film coming out July 22nd through the 27th. If you don't know what it is, let me show you the trailer.
Officer Montgomery.
Your fraternity is still on probation. You're not throwing a party tonight, are you?
Party? Oh.
So close to me, Booty, we can almost taste it.
Oh. We are Beta, Alpha, Delta. You and I will never forget.
Yeah. In the night we won't remember, boys!
Public intoxication, destruction of school property, disturbing the peace.
Rather than allowing this mistake to ruin our lives, let's make good out of it.
So, community service.
Dude, how are we gonna get 120 hours in 2 weeks?
Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Aren't you an answer to my prayers?
I am?
We're looking for more male counselors for Camp Burning Bush.
Tyler, in order to make this work, we really gotta do our homework.
If your Bible's falling apart, chances are your life ain't. Come on, so good.
Peace be with you, Father.
You can just call me Tom. Can you tell me a little bit about your walk?
My walk is fast.
Nah, his walk is steady.
Steady.
We ain't taking no.
Let's get the rest of these bags on the bus, and then it is all aboard. Choo choo.
Is the seat taken?
Actually, we're supposed to sit with one of the campers. Let me see if I can find your guy. Oh, there he is.
Would you rather smell like a foot or look like a foot?
Hey, we seeing W's all in the
Is everyone excited for camp?
Whose idea was it to come to this stupid camp?
Oh, no.
I hate kids.
We're not supposed to be on our phone.
I keep that little 10-year-old mouth shut.
I'm 12.
Then let's start acting like it, yeah?
I hate camping, and we're not Christians.
Our Father, who does art in heaven, hello be your name.
We ain't taking no.
I'm on to you.
We've got to come clean.
You say something, we get kicked out.
That's great, bud. Is that you and your dad?
It's you and me. Who are you, Grayson?
I think I'm still trying to figure that out.
It's time for a counselor makeover. On. So good. So good.
Hey, Shadow, have you seen Tyler? Nope, sorry. Okay. Tyler!
Good stuff.
On this podcast, we got the crazy opportunity to actually interview the writer of the film, who this story is actually based off his life story and how he was a frat guy that gave his life to Christ and started writing this film over 10 years ago. We also had the really cool opportunity of having the producer come out and tell his heart behind it and why we need to make more Christian films that are funny and for the whole family, but also reaching the demographic that a lot of people don't reach for, which is teenagers and young adults. This was a really cool opportunity, and so I just want to thank Dexter and Kris for coming on the show. We appreciate it so much, and we these interviews went like beyond an hour, so I cut it down, and hopefully you guys enjoy it, and hopefully this convinced you to go see this movie that I genuinely think is super funny, and I want to see this succeed because we need more movies like this. So sit back, relax, and hopefully you enjoy this interview. Yeah, so let's hop into it. So I was talking to the producer, and he said this is kind of like your story. Like, is this like, would you say like based off your story, or is it more like inspired by events?
Inspired by a true story.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. So you were the lead writer on the project, is that right?
Yeah, there were 2 other writers, but yeah, I mean, I've been part of the project for about 10 years. About 10 years in the making.
That's awesome, man. I love that so much. That is so cool. Would you what was like your process? What made you want to write this as a movie and not as a young adult novel or anything like that?
Novels are, I do not have the skill for novels. I'm always very impressed by writers and their ability to capture the minutia of life and have a way to articulate what a character is going through and thinking, whereas I'm more like, oh, wouldn't it be funny if the lead character like jumps in the lake?
Yeah.
They're like that. There we go. Like funny situations. I think I'm strongest at dialogue, and so my background is in acting, so I wanted to. So I wrote this movie to star in it.
Okay.
Started writing it when I was about 26. I'm 36 now.
Wow.
And when we were filming and they were going through the casting process, they had to like kind of break it to me a little bit, like, hey, you're a little old.
Mm-hmm.
And I was actually way closer to the guy who plays the pastor.
Oh, okay.
Chris Klein, who plays the pastor and the dad of the love interest.
Mm.
I'm way closer to his age than I was Ramon, who plays Tyler in the film, who's 19. So I understood that I had aged out of the college roles.
Yeah, totally.
We got two amazing actors for the two leads, Grayson and Tyler. Grayson's played by Matt Cornett, who's just an incredible guy, really good actor. He's about to come out in an Amazon show last night, I think, actually.
Yeah.
So hopefully that show is the next summer I turn pretty.
What made you start writing it? You said you wanted to star in it, but was there did you feel called to write it, or were you like, we need more Christian camp movies out there?
It actually wasn't even a camp movie at first. So what drew me to this was, I was a really wild frat boy at University of Southern California. I was not a Christian. And my senior year, I had this encounter with God and went from like a hard partying frat boy to a young life leader pretty quickly. And I had my life changed at a young life camp. And I thought, man, this would be a great film. Like I had never even seen a Christian movie at that point. I mean, I grew up watching American Pie and Role Models and Superbad and those movies, Animal House. Like I grew up on those movies. So like I said, I hadn't even seen The Passion of the Christ. Like I hadn't seen a movie, any Christian movie ever. And so I started writing like what I knew. So I was like, great, I'm going to write American Pie, but with like a uplifting, redemptive message about this guy who becomes Christian. And the first draft, this was before any other writers got brought on. The first draft was like very raunchy. But I go back now, and I mean, I'm a different person, praise the Lord. But you can tell it's like I'm now a 36-year-old husband and father, and I've been following the Lord for about 13 years versus like brand new baby Christian, fresh out of Christ. And the language, there was drug use, there was a lot of stuff. A lot of wild stuff in the movie. But that's what I knew. That was my world. And then Ryan got brought on. He did a lot of the writing with me. Ryan Gunnarsson, great guy. And we kind of reshaped it to being more of like a camp movie and not like a frat movie.
That's cool.
And I mean, because in my story was I was a super wild frat boy, had an encounter with God one night, and he spoke to me. I mean, I didn't have words. I didn't say like, oh, God just spoke to me. The still small voice that like called me up and that called me out of that lifestyle. And I started going to church by myself in LA, and I was like done with the partying scene, but still wanted to meet girls. So one day the pastor gets up and says, hey, we need more camp counselors for Young Life Camp. And I said, that's where like all the cute Christian girls are probably at. They're probably counselors at Christian camp. So I was kind of a Christian and became a Young Life leader. And it was one of those things where Hollywood Young Life, like it's a very different, LA Young Life is very different than probably Young Life throughout the country because they're desperate need of leaders. I would imagine in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, or even in Indiana, there were probably a lot more. Young Life is probably much more built into the culture, whereas in LA, that's just not the scene. And so I believed in God at that point, but didn't quite believe in Jesus or understand how Jesus fit into the whole picture. But I wanted to meet girls, so I signed up. And I become a leader, and I start hearing stories about Jesus and start Then I go to camp and just have my life completely changed. Just the grace of the Lord just met me at that camp. And so I wanted to tell that story.
That's awesome. That's really cool. That's very powerful.
It's a little different now in the movie because we wanted to, even wanted to dramatize it a bit. So they commit a crime on this, and in order to fulfill community service, they pretend to be Christian camp counselors.
Yeah. I was gonna ask that. Like, how did you balance like the entertainment side, but also like still adding your touches of like realistic events that happened in your life?
Well, I think the biggest issue was how true to the world do you stay? The script that's on screen is probably draft number 48. I mean, this went through so many different variations, and I think the biggest thing was even recently. So in 2024, when the film got financed, this is a cool God story. The film wasn't getting made for years. We were trying, but either it was too edgy and too fratty, or the secular world was like, yeah, it's a little too faith-based. We don't know where this movie lands. And everyone kept telling us, like, pick a side. Either make a frat movie or a faith movie. And we were like, no, that's the point. But no one was making it. And so one day I reached out to one of our producers, Chris Rourke, who's like a good buddy of mine. I said, let me just try to clean this movie up a little bit and see what happens. So for example, like the movie used to start out with like a really big party scene. Because that we wanted to show this is the world that the Grayson and Tyler live in. And we wanted to be true to that world. But it was a little too in the world. And that is always the balance of Christian filmmaking. How do you be truthful and without like glorifying the world?
Yeah.
How do you be truthful and tell a story while also not glamorizing drug use or alcohol abuse to some 13-year-old that's going to watch this movie and maybe not fully understand the message, but hey, that party scene looked really fun.
Yeah.
So I kind of did a quick pass at the script and tried to find creative ways to change some of the language or the innuendos, or change the party scene to where maybe the fraternity's on probation because they party so much that they've gotten shut down so many times they're in trouble with the university, and then the party gets shut down before we see anything. So it's as like a former frat guy, you go, oh, I know what was about to happen.
Yeah.
I know the party that they were about to have. Delta Gamma was about to come over and they were going to party. Like I know that world, and I can go, okay, that's truthful without it seeming like cringy or watered down. So it was about kind of getting creative. And there was a director, really, really one of the best Christian directors out there, Alex Kendrick. Fireproof.
Yeah.
What's the
War Room.
Yeah,
he's like the godfather of Christian movies.
Right. We were blessed enough, Chris Rourke and I, we were able to get dinner with him one night after a film festival. And he just said, like, just make sure my 13-year-old daughter doesn't walk away from this film learning about drugs.
Yeah.
Like that really stuck with me. Of like, let's make sure that my church doesn't bring the youth group. And some kid there was like, man, that drug scene was kind of fun. That was funny. Drugs are funny. So that was years-long battle of trying to glorify God, but also being truthful to the world.
Would you say that was like the most challenging part was like going back and having to do like basically writing a whole new story without these like, let's say like perverted jokes or, double entendre?
No, I would say, so once I went through and the Lord, I believe, just blessed my writing in that draft, and the Lord blessed it. And I'll tell you, we have been trying to get the movie made for years. The minute I cleaned it up, the movie got financed. I'm telling you,
Wow.
a month later.
That's
the
crazy.
next company we sent it to, greenlit it, Loam Entertainment, read it, loved it, greenlit it, and we wrote it, I think, in October. They read it in November, greenlit it in December, and we were shooting in May.
Oh my goodness.
So it's what I learned in that process, which is I mean, Jesus said, apart from me, you can do nothing. And there are often times when we are striving in our own strength and our own reason and our own like understanding. But if the Lord's favor and blessing is not upon it, maybe all you need is a realignment of heart or realignment of the story or realignment of, you know, if you're like trying to break through in a certain career and things are not working out, maybe the Lord needs like a new heart shift for you. And maybe that's the thing that's missing. So it was amazing seeing God's hand on the project the minute the language got cleaned out.
Yeah.
The partying got taken out, and he was like, this is the movie I want.
Wow. That's beautiful. That's really cool. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
What was it like when you saw like the first scene you wrote be like shot with these actors and actresses? Like, was it kind of like you had to take like a step back where you're like, wow, it's amazing, or were you like, it's not really what I thought?
Definitely the latter.
Yeah.
It was one of my struggles in like sanctification process is pride and ego and control. And for about 9 years, I was like the sun by which bad counselors would revolve. And I wrote the first draft, and you know, I was part of it from start to finish. And then you give it over to other people, and it was a big struggle for me with my pride and my ego, and it was very difficult the first few days on set where I wanted to be in charge. This is not how I pictured it in my head, or that line was supposed to be delivered this way. And I mean, it's something I've had to repent of since then. Where there were moments, I think a large portion of the filming process where I was full of joy and full of gratitude, but there were other moments where I wanted to be in control. I wanted more to do. I wanted more status on set, and I had to like repent of that. Man, this was all great. Like, financially blessed my family. I've made a lot of good friends and connections through the film. The film got made. You know, it's like all blessing. Yeah. But it was a struggle to go, oh no, I think this is how I pictured it for the past 8-9 years. You know, it was hard. It was hard for me.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you for being vulnerable and like opening up about that. I appreciate it. This movie has like a cast that like I made a video. It's like it's everybody from my childhood. Like there's so many actors that I was like, how are they in this? What was it like? Were you part of the casting process? Were you like, you know, like what was it like, that process? Were you part of that, or was it more like you stood aside for that?
Yeah, so I essentially, when the film got greenlit, and I basically handed the script over, the movie over, to our producers and our director, and it was, you know, they were very generous and they kept me in the loop. But in terms of that decision-making process, it was their movie now. Yeah. And I was still involved in terms of, you know, they were very gracious and they wanted me on set. You know, I think normally in films, you sell the film and the film gets greenlit, the screenwriter, it's like, thank you so much, done. You can go work on your next project. The director, Kris Galuska, was so gracious, saying, you know, I want you on set, like, let's make sure you're out there. The producer, I mean, he put me up in his in-laws' house. So, because we were shooting in North Carolina, so they were gracious in wanting me a part of the project. But at that point, it becomes the director's vision and working with that team of producers.
Wow, that's really cool. What is it?
This is a cool casting story. Was Ramon, who got cast as Tyler, was like the complete opposite of what we had all pictured for Tyler. So originally, when it was written, it was the cast was like, so Grayson was kind of your Matt Cornett, like he was perfect. That's what we pictured. And Tyler was supposed to be this like white, buff meathead, 6'3" meathead kind of guy, and that's how we always pictured it. And we could not find the guy. And then I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, the casting director was like, "Hey, just trust me on this one. Let's let this guy who's, a short, black, funny, again, he is very cut, so he was very strong. But just like have him read for me." And I watched his, not even his audition, I watched his reel. And it was just like, this guy's amazing. And we looked at the script a little bit. Nothing really changes.
Yeah.
Nothing at all changes in the script. Casting it, a different race, different height. He was a little bit younger. He had he wasn't like your kind of stereotypical meathead.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, seeing him on set and seeing him with Matt Cornett, Ramon and Matt, it was like, that's Tyler, which was wild, which was so cool seeing someone, and he brought so much to the role and made it so much better. That was so cool seeing how God just brought in someone who was not what we were picturing, who ended up making it better, and I think making the film a lot more dynamic.
That's really cool. That's awesome. And with those actors, what was it like hearing them say lines that you wrote in your computer? Is that kind of like a strange moment, or like what was that like?
It was, so Matt Cornett, who played Grayson, was just fantastic. I just could not have been more happy with him. Something that also comes to my mind. So we had Nathan Gamble for Dallas, who plays like the kind of Christianese camp counselor, the kind of legalistic camp counselor. And we love the part of Dallas. And it's just so funny. And in my like on paper, like Dallas is so perfect and so funny. And like there's so many jokes written into his part. And having him come in, and he crushed it. I mean, he is so funny, and he even improvised some lines that were just hilarious. McKaylee Miller, who plays Becky, who's she's the very flirtatious camp counselor.
Gotcha.
Who has a thing for Tyler. She was, again, unbelievable. So it was really fun seeing, especially those two comedic characters, absolutely nail the script. So it was super fun on set, like seeing these characters who were hilarious on paper be just as hilarious, if not more hilarious in real life, and hit these really kind of complicated moments where their characters are comedically hitting several different beats in the scene. So yeah, we had a great cast. We talked about it.
Well, do you have an idea for, let's say, Bad Counselors 2?
I do. If you see the movie, there's like a teaser at the end that sets up a potential sequel.
Gotcha.
I won't. Y'all have to go and see the movie. But the sequel has been in our mind since we wrote the movie years ago.
Wow. Is it like a end credit scene? This is like Bad Counselors will return, Avengers Doomsday, or?
That's so funny. Yeah, it's basically like that. Although we can't do it at the end of the credits because no one would stay.
Yeah.
Would know. So it's like movie ends, fade to black, and like an epilogue. It's more like an epilogue.
Gotcha.
It was written as a post-credit scene or as credits roll scene.
That's cool. I love that. Yeah. If someone would see this movie and they connect with it, what do you want them to take away from it? What do you want them to feel by the end of this?
I think the first thing that comes to my mind is, especially as a kid and a teenager and a college student, there is such a draw to the world and the partying and to that and success, worldly success and career success. But that thing that you are looking for is God. And so there is no greater fulfillment, there is no greater joy or peace than encountering the love of God and living for Him. And so that would be the big takeaway.
I love that. That is awesome. That's so cool. I just thank you, man, for coming on. I appreciate it.
Sure.
Yeah. So it's coming out, Bad Counselors, July 22nd. Go check it out, guys. The trailer's hilarious. I guarantee you. The movie's gonna be so funny as well. So thank you guys for joining.
But right now, Bad Counselors, we are excited. July 22nd through the 27th is when it's coming out. It's an event, and I think that's something I really want people to realize. This is an event release. It's doing it through Fathom. We think that this will succeed if young people get their friends and their youth groups to go see this. We say that's broader than just Christian youth groups and stuff like that, but if we just got that audience to come see this, if we got the college, for example, Campus Crusade for Christ crew is on board and they're promoting this.
Wow, nice.
If we just got the young people that want to see a movie that was actually made for them and knows their culture, this would do great. And so this is an event release. We want people to come and bring their friends and actually go to theaters to see this. And I get it. It's not the next Marvel movie that you have to see with everybody, but there's not movies like this that are being made. If you want more movies that are, I also think there's something fun about laughing in a room with 100 other people.
I agree. Yeah, totally.
I think that's why horror movies are fun in theaters too, is because you're getting scared with all these other people. There's something that we lost. Someone tried to give this as a negative comment on one of our posts that it looks like something from the 2000s. I was like, guys, the 2000 comedies were amazing. That's when Anchorman came out. That's when Mean Girls came out. That's when all those movies were like, I remember being in theaters that were completely sold out and everybody's just dying laughing. And I think that's something we lost a little bit as a culture. There's so much fun and it kind of connects people. You don't feel as divisive if you're all laughing together at something.
Personally want to make movies like Bad Counselors. They're heartwarming and they're fun and exciting. So, I mean, thank you guys so much for taking the leap and step. So maybe one day, possibly when I'm old enough, I can make films like this too,
Well, you can make stuff now, man. There's no age limit on this, as we've seen from some of the recent movies that are doing really well.
That is true.
And you have a unique voice. I see too many people trying to make movies for young people and capture their voice, and I'm like, do you hang out with them?
Yeah.
Do you know what they're into? What are you talking about? And it's having unique voices is what stands out, and bring your unique voice to it. Don't try to make something that you've seen done by other people. You can take inspiration, bring what's unique about you to a project, and that's what people will think is genuine and real. And that's why this one, I mean, there's been plenty of camp movies, there's been plenty of frat movies, but this was inspired by some guy's real life and inspired by real things he went to. And there's been frat movies, but how many frat movies have them pretending to be Christian camp counselors?
Yeah.
And dealing with that. And like I said at the beginning, these kind of movies, there's a reason they keep on being told in different ways, because they're all things we connect to. We've all had those firsts. We've all had those awkward moments. We've all, there's the classic fish out of water story, where you're also put in an environment you're not used to. And for us, going into the churches and everything, it can feel like you're really a fish out of water if you're not used to it, because like we said earlier, the Christianese culture, the way people date, all that stuff is funny and silly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Go ahead.
I said absolutely. And I even saw that in the trailer, that I was okay with it, because I was like, me and my buddies make fun of that all the time. So we kind of had less representation,
Yeah. It's funny because you don't think of that as a subculture that gets representation, but that Christian teen dealing with all the stuff. I this isn't in our movie, but I remember is a bunch of guys that would just hang out with girls until they eventually are like, okay, I guess we're dating. Because we've hung out so much at Bible study. And I'm like, that's really how it should work. And so it's right for entertainment because it gets silly and it's heightened. Everybody's so nice to each other, and so you can imagine being a frat guy that's used to having to seduce women, I guess the right word, but you have to, you're used to being that flirty guy that goes in there, and also you're dealing with like church girls that are like really responsible and they don't take that from you. And so there's definitely a little bit of that in this movie. If you notice, I'm wearing the Camp Burning Bush shirt.
Yes, I was gonna mention that. That's awesome.
So Camp Burning Bush is the camp they go to, and there's actually gonna be a really cool program, and you should definitely sign up for it, where you can be an official theater camp counselor.
Wow.
Where you sign up, and the goal is you'll get a t-shirt, Camp Burning Bush, and you'll be a counselor of the theater in your area, and your goal is to try to help us sell tickets and get people to show up.
I love
and
that.
Promote it.
That is so creative.
That's something that we're announcing soon. By the time this airs, it should be going full blast. And there's going to be some really cool special guests that are going to be the faces of the camp counselor program, going out there trying to get people to show up. Because like I said, we want this to be an event. It's only a 5-day release. If we sold out all theaters on those 5 days, we'd be ecstatic. And it's really like, if you guys want more Christian teen stuff, if you guys want stuff that's funny but that has a message and a heart to it, we have to show up to theaters to see it. And we have to make these things happen. And I hope our movies help influence culture, become part of pop culture, become quotable things. And it doesn't seem to do that as much on streaming. You kind of need those movies that you all go see in the theaters to do that. And so I hope all your friends go out and see it. And let's turn this into an event that people get excited for. It's cool. It's fun to do, man.
I love that. Yes. Yeah. Me and my buddies in our youth group, we're going to go check it out. So everyone else go check it out too. Just like a few more questions. What's a memory that you had with the cast that you don't think you'll ever forget? Cast or crew.
This is what one of the cast members, Breck Basinger. We were shooting, and there's a whole capture the flag scene, and we're out in the woods after a thunderstorm. Like the thunderstorm was the day before, so it's all safe now. But I'm a dad, and I get in like dad protective mode, and there's all these branches hanging from the trees. And Breck just shot Final Destination Bloodlines, and every time I look at her, she's sitting under a giant branch that's about to fall.
That's great.
And I'm like, Breck, you were in Final Destination. What are you doing? Like, this is right above you. You have to pay more attention to these things. And like, I grew up where Final Destination, the first one, came out, and like, I think it like gave me PTSD because of that movie. Where like, I'm constantly looking for what can kill us in the environment and what's going to cause a chain reaction. And I remember like, it wasn't just once. Like every time I turned and looked over, she was in a different spot where another branch was going to get. So we actually had to like stop the set and rip some of the branches out.
Really?
Because I was like, we can't, me and the line producer became like the dads of the set. We're like, no, we need to take care of everybody. There's probably unlikely any of these things are going to fall. And then it turned into this huge like man puzzle where you have all these burly crew members trying to figure out how to get this one branch down, but it's like 20 feet up.
Yeah.
And so they're all like shimmying and throwing things at it. I'm like, sometimes they lassoed it or just yanking on it. I'm like, oh my guys, like me and the line producer, like, this is not safe. We're calling the insurance. And then finally one of these guys literally shimmied up a tree that had no branches. It was a perfectly straight, I don't even know how he climbed it, lassoed it and got it down. And like, it was, but we want to make sure everybody's safe first and foremost. And so like, we're clearing the set, but it was just one of those funny things. Like, it's like she just purposely was planning on picking any location that had a branch that could fall on her. And I was like, Breck.
That's hilarious. That's so funny.
And then there's some just other moments. Actually, it was we were all covered in mud. There was ants. There was all that, and I was getting a little bit. This was one of those days that I was soaked from like 9 a.m. on.
Yeah.
And I was just exhausted. And I kind of complained a little bit. And Ramon Reed, who plays Tyler, was like, "Yeah, But hey, man, there's people out there that don't have homes, and we get to do this, and it's fun. Isn't that amazing? And it just like I was like, dude, this 20-something-year-old actor just put me in my place, and he was so right. Like, we're making a movie, and yeah, I'm covered in mud and everything. We're making a movie. It's hard, but it's fun, and we get to do this, and how cool it was. So it was just kind of neat being inspired by some of the actors, and just their attitude and their outlook on life was really refreshing.
That's so cool. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. What themes in Bad Counselors do you think the audience will connect with?
We all are looking for where we fit in life, and we all have goals that we think are going to fulfill us. I remember being very driven when I was in college. Once I get to this, I'll then be successful. Then my life really starts. And that's a common theme in this movie of people, are looking for that thing to fulfill them, or looking for their life to start once they've reached a certain part of their career or gotten out of college or whatever it is. And there's definitely a theme in here of being okay with who you are right then there, and feeling satisfied and knowing that you matter right where you are, that you don't have to prove yourself to be loved or to be important. And so that's something that I think is a theme that is throughout this. And also learning to not prejudge other groups of people fully based on what you think they're going to be like.
Yeah.
That even people that are very different than you can learn a lot from them. And there's a lot of things in common that can actually help you grow together and be closer together. So for quirky comedy, it has a good heart to it.
Yeah. When, let's say, like, a family goes see it and they're driving home, what conversations do you want them to spark up with their parents?
Oh, that's a great question. Well, without giving away the ending of the movie or what happens in it, that's the harder thing. We knew the ending of the movie already. We could go into deep.
Yeah.
I think some of the bigger questions is, just for example, there's a lot of college drinking at the beginning of this. And there's this, some people are instantly like, oh, they can't have this now, but it's like conversations about responsibility and having fun without going too far, and also showing what a redemption arc could be. I think sometimes we, in Christian films, we want to like sanitize things too much and just show you have to come from something to be lifted up to something else.
Yeah.
Like in order to grow, you have to be, at a different place in your life to then grow to a different place, to learn from your mistakes and to grow. And so I think there's some great conversations we can have about that in there.
That's awesome. That's great. Well, thank you so much. Bad Counselors coming out to July 22nd through the 27th.
July 22nd through 27th. Get your tickets now. There's the more theaters and screens we pre-sell, the more chance there'll be more theaters that show it. But it's at your AMC's, it's at your Cinemarks. Yeah.
Yes.
And if you want to be a bad counselor, look it up. Because you can be a counselor at your theater and help us get the word out there and help us sell tickets, and bring your friends. It's a great, like I said at the beginning, we designed this as the young adult youth group movie where they wouldn't be embarrassed to invite their friends to it. It's quirky, it's fun. You don't have to be a Christian by any means to enjoy this. It's a funny movie first and foremost, and then it has a heartfelt message.
I love that. Well, thank you for coming on, man. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. This was really fun to do. I really enjoyed it. You saw that this was my very first time actually interviewing a writer or producer. Hopefully I did a pretty good job, but I thought this was really fun and I enjoyed it a lot. And I really felt encouraged after these two interviews because it's just solidified that I want to make movies like this. I want to make movies that are Christian films, but also young adult films that are coming of age, but also don't have to be super serious. They can be funny. And so if you want a funny movie that you can take your whole family or even invite your friend that's not really a Christian, but he's going to enjoy this as well because it's a good laugh. So please go check out this movie. It's in theaters July 22nd through the 27th. I promise you, I'm not getting paid. This is not a sponsored video. I reached out to these guys. Like, they did not reach out to me. We're not at that level of sponsorship yet. So just please go check out this movie because I wanted to do well. So one day I can work with these guys and make a movie and direct and write and with them. So Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I learned a lot from this, and so hopefully you did too. But go check it out. Bad Counselors, July 22nd to the 27th. This was not a sponsored video. I just made this because I truly want to see this movie do well.